Hello and welcome. I'm Jason here at the NCPA 2024 convention. We're speaking with industry leaders in the pharmacy segment to learn about the new ways and the new challenges that are facing each pharmacy. I'm here with Mike and Stephanie with Capital Drug. Thank you guys for sitting down with us to share your insight.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you tell us just briefly about Capital Drug, your customers, and what you guys do in the industry?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Stephanie.
So Capital Wholesale Drug has been around for 75 years. We're family owned, completely independent. We carry brand and generic. We focus on the independent pharmacy as our core business, and we just are flexible people, and we do everything we can to help the independent.
Okay, great. What do you see as some of the challenges that independent pharmacies face today versus, say, 10 years, 20 years ago? What are some of the new challenges?
I think that the challenges have been the same. They've just gotten a little bit worse. How's that? And so
Okay.
reimbursement has always been an issue. It's getting worse. It's probably at the worst it's been since I've been in the industry. The other thing that's hurting them also is a lot of shortages from manufacturers. For wholesalers to secure product. There's a lot of shortages in the marketplace, and it's made things difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
I think DSCSA has had an impact as well. I mean, it's changing how we're actually processing orders, how we're receiving product, and it's layers on layers of uh, impacting the whole supply chain.
Yep.
And I think there are a lot of misconceptions about it, but there's also a lot of challenges with manufacturer down to the independent. So we're trying really hard to make sure we're focusing on that because it's become such an issue in the last year.
Right, right. Speaking of supply chain, looking back, what during the pandemic, obviously supply chain issues were something that you guys had to deal with, your
sure.
customers had to deal with. What did we learn from that? And are we prepared, or the distribution side, is it prepared if we ever have something like that happen again?
It's a good question, Jason. I'm not sure that we're any more prepared today than we were then. I mean, a lot of the supply chain is based on your previous orders with those manufacturers, and if you're buying 500 pieces of a particular item one month and then jump it up to 1,000, there's questions being asked, and so it's
This really goes back to the API. It goes back to the manufacturers being prepared. Uh, you know, product in India not being able to get into the United States is so disruptive. And hopefully, we're seeing more manufacturing moving to this country, so we won't see that kind of disruption if something ever happens
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Can you tell me a little bit about the Capital Drug 360 and how that is helping independent pharmacies?
sure.
So, Capital Drug 360 is we've white labeled with Advisure. It's a compliance solution where it captures all of the documents and data needed to comply with DSCSA. We offer it to our customer base as a way to manage all of their contracts with other wholesalers as well and manage all of their data. And it's necessary in a way for them to be able to respond to an audit instead of having to go to multiple places because supply chain issues has driven people to many distributors opposed to before having a primary and a secondary. Now they could have 6 or 8. They've got to keep all of their documents in one place if they're audited. It helps them comply with the laws. So it's one thing that we can that sets us apart so we can help people.
Right. Do you see the Capital Drug 360 continuing to evolve and change with?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
we
I
do.
mean, at this point, we don't know what we don't know because,
Right.
I mean, there's been a lot of confusion with the SCSA from the federal government as far as, hey, the law is going to go into effect in November, and then they pushed it back, and then they pushed it back again, and so we'll see what happens. But to Stephanie's point, I mean, it's really for the independent pharmacies, you're really buying yourself an insurance policy. I mean,
Right.
that's
Protects
really
them.
what it is.
Yeah.
It just absolutely protects you because any of the agencies, basically, including the PBMs, I mean, they're self-funding when you get right down to it. They
Right.
gotta levy a fine in order for them to keep getting paid. So they're looking.
Yeah.
They are looking, and there's no more. Paper, when these auditors come in, there's no more, well, here's my stack of invoices, you have to go through them. You have to give to them everything electronic. And you really have 48 hours to comply now with these audits. And so, if you can't capture all that information in 48 hours, I can't say that you're going to get a fine. I don't know.
Right.
One of the things we have been seeing is the audits are starting to ramp up. We have, regardless of the extension, we are seeing this uptick in people reaching out to us. And what we have seen in several cases now, when they're working with a compliance solution, the auditor starts the process and they don't continue on if they see that they're working with somebody.
Right.
Really?
Somebody
Okay.
that will help them with the data and make sure that they're getting the correct information that's required by DSCSA. So we are seeing that a little bit. I mean, it's starting to happen, regardless of the fact that most pharmacies have that extension until next year
Gotcha.
in November.
Yeah.
But we are seeing it. So we didn't for a while, and now it's
Now it's
Starting
starting to
to
uptick again. And one of the big differentiators with Capital 360 is some of the other, competitors that are out there. I mean, everybody's solution is very, basically the same. I mean, what the output is the same for the most part. Our solution, you don't have to scan each and every bottle. And so from a workflow standpoint, there's no scanning. So I mean, if you got 5 or 6 orders in one day, you have a receiving clerk with some of the other solutions. You're out there scanning each individual bottle. With our solution, there's no scanning at all. The exceptions are captured right at the time the order is received. You know what to look for, and that doesn't mean that you're always looking for illegitimate product. And maybe some of the dates, some of the expiration dates, or so on and so forth, things don't match up, but it has to be adjudicated. That's part of the law. It's got to be adjudicated. So not scanning product was a big differentiator.
So it's a combination of efficiency and accuracy, correct?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Excellent.
They have to do their due diligence. If they get product in and the data isn't complete, it alerts them. They can go through the process of a self-audit, and it does the correction, and it shows that they've done their due diligence, and that's what's required.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, but we've been working on DSCSA for I don't know, 4 years.
Longer.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
longer than 4 years, just getting prepared. And it's financially it's a burden. I mean, but it's something that we have to do as a distributor. And what we've tried to offer our customers is a real turnkey solution.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's great. You guys are doing that. You're basically helping your customers prepare for the future, and because you know it's coming and it's going to come
absolutely.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
One last question I have for each of you, with your experience and your knowledge, if you could whisper into an independent pharmacy's ear to give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Go ahead, Stephanie.
And if I'm putting you on the spot, I
No, no,
apologize.
no. That's fine.
I think a couple things right now. I think that it's important to be aligned with more than one. Um, you've got your primary, more than one secondary. I think with the supply chain disruptions that we see, it's to protect your pharmacy. Have more than one. Have resources within those wholesalers, like if they have brand or if they have a DSCSA compliance solution for you, and just stay close to your wholesalers because that relationship can help you when you most need it.
Yeah.
And ordering on a platform, it's great. It gives you opportunity for looking at multiple pricing structures and minimums to ship. But having a relationship with your distributor, your wholesaler, can help you when you really need it. And so that's what I would say. A lot of people are, they may not want to have someone calling them every day, but you can still have a relationship with them without that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great
What
advice.
do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with what Stephanie's saying. I have a little different twist. It's pharmacy is a business, and the pharmacists that I've had the pleasure of working with for a long, long time, and they're passionate about their business. They're passionate about their customers and the service they provide to their community. No doubt about it. But unfortunately, it has really morphed into a business, and you have to know the contracts that you're signing with your wholesaler and so on and so forth. You make money when you buy product. There's no more making money when you dispense product. Everything is capped. Everything is capped. You know what you're making. So if you don't buy right, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You absolutely have a problem. So you have to do the math. I mean, you really have to do the math. And, the way the wholesaler contracts, are written sometimes, and I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. It's just you have to know when to buy away and what to buy away. And if you can, you should always live up to your commitment that you made with your wholesaler. I'm not suggesting that. But if at the end of the month you've made your number, you've satisfied your agreement, and you can take X amount of dollars and turn it, if you can take $10,000 worth of spend and turn it into $15,000 worth of product by buying away, that's how you make money.
Right.
And so it's, to Stephanie's point, it's leveraging that relationship on both sides of the equation. They absolutely need that primary wholesaler, but doing business with somebody like Capital, we know where we fit into the equation. We're not looking to knock the primary out. It's just, buy based on savings.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you're exactly correct. I think the true profitability comes in buying.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's important to be wise. And it's one of the things that when we talk to different, I promise you that was the last question, but when we talk to pharmacies or pharmacists, they wear so many different hats.
Yes.
And so it's a really difficult job. And so I'm glad to see Capital's doing things such as Capital Drug 360 and, doing those things to help independent pharmacies to do the things they have to do and the things they must do. So thank you both for your time. And
I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Hopefully the show continues to be a great success for you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.